Hello grade 12 A-level students. Right now we are going to continue the theory about polymerization. Okay, now we are studying about addition and condensation polymers. In addition and condensation polymers, there are several outcomes. Let's see from here. We have to able to describe the formation of polyester and polyamides. When we studied about carboxylic acid, ester, we learned already how carboxylate becomes ester. Carboxylic acid reacts with alcohol to form an ester. So, in order to form polyester, there must be two different monomers. One is made up of dialcohol, and then the other one is made up of dicarboxylic acid. These two monomers, they react polymerization, which is called condensation polymerization, become polyester. Also with polyamides consisting of two different monomers. One is diamine and the other one is dicarboxylic acid or diacyl chloride, become polyamides. The second learning outcome is to describe the characteristic of condensation polymerization in polyester, exemplified by pteryline in polyamides as exemplified by polypeptides, proteins, nylon 6, nylon 6.6 and Kevlar. And then the next learning outcome is to deduce the repeat unit of a condensation polymer obtained from a given monomer or pair of monomers. And then the fourth, identify the monomers present in a given section of condensation polymer molecule. And then as you can see here, we read all the learning outcomes, and then that makes the specific here is the protein, the DNA. DNA, the process of DNA in replication, it is also called as polymerization, condensation polymerization. Later we are going to study also about primary, secondary and tertiary structures and even quaternary structures of amino acids, protein. Okay, and then we have to able to know how to recognize the polyamides and polyester are biodegradable by hydrolysis and describe the hydrolysis of proteins. Last time when we studied in chapter 27, we learned about amide and how the reaction of hydrolysis amides. Okay, now let's see the 228.1 addition polymers. Okay, the example in addition polymers here, there are two, LDPE and HDPE. These two are the objects. Addition polymers with variety properties can be made by polymerizing other compounds containing double bonds. So in here, addition polymers must contain double bond. Propene obtained by catalytic cracking can be polymerized in a similar way to ethene using Ziegler-Natta catalyst. What is the Ziegler-Natta catalyst consist of? It is consist of this one. This is the Ziegler-Natta catalyst. Okay, what happens during the polymerization? Propene subunit line up in a regular head-to-tail arrangement because as each propene is added to the growing chain, the more stable secondary carbocation is formed as an intermediate. So now there is one there is a head and there is a tail. The tail is the methyl side. This one using the Ziegler-Natta. What happens in the process of Ziegler-Natta? Here, these are the description of the process of how the addition polymerization occur. So, in the beginning, the double bond, this one, high electron density, give push electron to the aluminum here. That makes this one has an extra of electron. It carries a negative charge. Then it binds with the propene. And then continue again another propene, another stable propene that has high electron density, give to the carbocation. And then this process continue. So there is a head and there is a tail. So this process continue until there is no more propene. We know the reaction will stop if there is no more reactants. Okay, the second, phenylethene can be polymerized to form polyphenylethene, otherwise known as polystyrene. Phenylethene is obtained commercially by reacting together ethene and benzene followed by dehydrogenation. It is an important component of the copolymers SBr and ABS. The mechanism of the polymerization is similar to the polymerization of propene, but it involves radicals as intermediates rather than cations. So there is a free radical here to process. So let's see the process. This is the heat. This is the reactants. Because of heat, it will become two free radicals. And then the CH2 double bond CH, the electron density over here, give electron to the free radical. That makes the free radical attached to the CH2 CH, and then that makes this overall become a free radical. The process continues until there is no more phenylethene. Polyphenylethene is used for packaging and model kits because when it is molded, it can depict fine details exactly. When an inert gas is bubbled through the phenylethene as it is being polymerized, the familiar white, very light solid known as expanded polystyrene is formed. This is used as protective packaging and for sound and heat insulation. As we know, this object, we are using it for food packaging, or in Indonesia is called gabus, styrofoam. Okay. Next, rubber, natural and synthetic copolymers. Rubber tree is indigenous to South America, but large plantations have been established in India and Malaysia. When its bark is stripped, it oozes a white sticky liquid called latex, which is an emulsion of rubber in water. Purification of this produces rubber. In its natural state, rubber is not particularly useful. It has a low melting point, is sticky, and has low tensile strength. Charles Goodyear discovered the process of vulcanization, which involved heating natural rubber with sulfur. that produces a substance with higher melting point and of greater strength. Rubber is an addition polymer of 2-methyl butadiene, or called as isoprene. Okay, so this one is the structure of rubber. When there is sulfur goes inside, the process is called vulcanization. It is usually to make the car or motor vehicle tires. Note that when undergo addition polymerization, a double bond is still present in the product. This double bond may be cis or trans. In natural rubber, the long chain is the cis across all the double bonds. For different trees, a naturally occurring substance called gutta percha can be obtained. This is an isomer of rubber in which all double bonds are trans. Gutta percha is harder than rubber and in the 19th century was used as coating for golf balls. Okay, let's see here the process. The presence of double bond in rubber allows further addition reaction to take place. If liquid rubber is heated with sulfur atoms add across some of the double bonds in different chains, cross-linking the rubber molecules. This is what happens during the vulcanization process. It stops the chains from moving past each other and gives a material more rigidity. So, when rubber, we know rubber is stretchy. Stretchy because the molecules can move freely. But when there is a sulfur inside the structure, this sulfur binds. The binding results in the rigidity. So the rubber is not very elastic anymore, and then also not able to move freely. Okay, and then not all double bonds have sulfur added to them. This would make the substance too hard. Okay, about 5% sulfur by mass is adequate to give the desired properties. So not a lot of sulfur being added to it. Okay, so these are the product for the addition polymerization. Addition polymerization of other ethene derivatives. So there is monomer, chloroethene, tetrafluoroethene, methyl 2-methyl propanoate, and then methyl 2-cyanopropanoate, and then cyanoethene. And then the uses, as you can see here, there are some uses. PTFE is for non-stick cookware, bridge bearings, non-stick cookware, or we call as Teflon. So Teflon is a man-made. Okay, next 28.2 condensation polymers. There are two strategies for making condensation polymers. Each strategy results in a different type of polymer. The first strategy, producing type 1 polymers, start with a monomer containing two different functional groups that can condense together to form a small molecule and also to form a linkage. The linkage either ester or amide. The second strategy, forming type 2 polymers, start with two different monomers, one containing 2 carboxylic acid and or 2 acyl chloride, and the other containing 2 alcohol groups or called dialcohol, and then this one or 2 amino groups or diamine. The two types of polymer differ in the direction of successive functional groups along the chain. Type 1 polymers, the direction of each ester or amide linkage is the same as in figure 28.9a, whereas type 2, Reduction of the ester and amide linkages alternates. Okay, let's see here. 28.9 type 1 polyester. Look at the difference between these two. This one, there is a C double bond O, and then O, and then the structure. What is inside the green spherical? The inside is consisting of maybe large or small number of alkyl groups. So this one from one type of monomer, that has this one. Type 1, direction of the ester linkage is the same. Direction of the ester amide linkage alternates. Let's see the structure here. Okay, this one in here always the same, COO, 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 COO. This is for type 1. For type 2, OCO, COO, OCO, COO. This is called as the type 2 condensation polymerization. Okay, these are the products, these are the name of the polymers, condensation polymers, the formula, and also the type of polymers. Next, like simple esters and amides, polyester and polyamides can be hydrolyzed by strong acid or alkali, as we studied on in chapter 27. We learned already the hydrolysis process. Okay, so these are the materials that can be made from this addition polymerization. And then next, further polymers and their properties. Kevlar. Kevlar owes the strength to the many regular hydrogen bonds between its chains. Because of the 1,4 di-substituted arrangement of the functional groups in two aryl rings, the long chain of Kevlar are linear in shape. They can readily align side by side and form strong interchain hydrogen bonds. So what makes Kevlar is special is because of the strong hydrogen bonds in the structure. Tensile strength of Kevlar is 5 times that of steel. So this is stronger than steel. On a weight for weight basis, its density is small, and yet it is quite flexible. It finds uses in tires for cars, bicycles, bulletproof vests, and the skins of modern drumheads. So this Kevlar is very famous use. It is not easy to be penetrated by a bullet, and also this Kevlar is lighter than steel. Okay, dramatic use of Kevlar together with glass reinforced polyester is illustrated by this one. It was much lighter than the possible alternative made from steel or concrete. And then cross-linked polymers. Earlier in this chapter, there is also another polymer which is called bakelite. Bakelite is a product of polymerization, condensation polymerization used for cooking. Okay, there is also term thermosetting, as you can see, and you can read in your textbook more details what is the meaning by thermosetting. This is the process of the thermosetting, the formation of crosslinks in bakelite. Okay, crosslink polymers do not have to result in such An inflexible solid as bakelite by cross-linking is often introduced to provide added strength to a flexible polymer. For example, if small amount of tri or tetrahydroxy alcohol is added to the monomer mix for polyester, stronger cross-linked polymer can form in the structure. Okay, and then there is a PTFE. The opposite effect is noticed with the PTFE. Here all the hydrogen atoms in the polymer have been replaced by fluorine atoms. Fluorine is the most electronegative element in the periodic table and strongly attract to the electrons in covalent bonds and attached to it. This means that the electrons are held firmly and are not easily polarized. That this is made result in very weak van der Waals forces between PTFE molecules and more importantly PTFE molecules and other molecules. It is intermolecular forces that cause molecules to stick together. So there is an intermolecular forces that stick together between PTFE, and then there is an eco polymer, that environmentally friendly polymer. This one, the example of PLA, and then conducting. There is a conducting polymer. Graphite is conductor of electricity because within each of the layer of carbon atoms there are delocalized electrons covering every atom within the layer. Thus, when potential difference is applied at opposite ends of the layer, the delocalized electrons will flow from one end to the other. Some long-chain polymer molecules act as molecular wires. They contain conjugated double bonds, which means that the double bonds on adjacent alkene units overlap and the pi electron become delocalized throughout the length of the polymer chain. If it is polymerized, then it would have made a strong structure. Because the electrons can move around a bit, so there is an electrical conductivity. Electrical conductivity, or we call as semiconductor. Okay, these polymers are not used as ordinary conductors. Their conductivity is less than copper, but as semiconductor for use in organic polymer, LED and photovoltaic panels for converting electrical to light and light or light into electrical. So this process also use this concept. Okay, then there is another application, polymer glue, to make glue, strong glue, or we call as Alteco. The example in the market is also an organic sample of glue that can stick together because of the hydrogen bonding. Common adhesion polymer adhesive has already been mentioned in the earlier part 28.1. This one, super glue, because of its two electron withdrawing groups at one end of the ethene. Okay, so this is the structure of the ethene. So this is one end, and there is a process intermediate how to make the structure, and then finally the structure is stabilized. Okay, and then condensation polymer adhesive is for glue. Okay, it's very strong glue because it has great strength. Okay, so today right now we have learned from 28.1 until 28.3. Next time we'll continue regarding proteins.